Alright, welcome guys with another video on C++ data structures and algorithms course. So in the previous video we talked about data types in C++. Alright, we talked about this topic, and in this topic I taught you about the range. Alright, I taught you something about range of data types. Alright, now I also linked the Geeks for Geeks website because I wanted you to study about the range of different data types, so I hope you have done that also. Now the question arises, what if I exceed the range of a data type? Like if I know that char is from -127 to 128, alright, for the unsigned char obviously, what happens if I write something like this: char ch equals 130. Alright, now will the program show an error, or what should happen if I exceed the range of any data type for that matter? So we'll see it using the program only. Okay guys, so we are ready to write the program. So in this I have already written the program for you. Alright, you might pause the screen and write this program. This is a very simple program, that's why I already wrote it. Now let's build the program and try to run it. Okay, so I build and run this program, and here it goes. Now I enter 130 and it displays 1. Alright, so you can clearly see on the output that I entered the value 130, but the display is showing 1. Now why is this happening? Let's understand this. Okay guys, so in our code we saw that we were printing 130 and it was printing 1 for us. So why did that happen? Alright, so see, it is all in a circular order. This is -127 and 128. Alright, so what happens is that if I print 129, then according to the circular order you just have to print 0. Alright, the compiler will print 0. If you enter 130, it will print 1. So by this you can understand that what will happen if I try to print -128. Guys, this is -128, not 128, so it will print obviously 127. Alright, what is happening is that if you are incrementing from the minus side, you have to subtract 1 from the plus side. That is what we are doing. Alright, so this was a little thing, the circular thing, which was left in the data types video, so I covered this also. Now let us move on to the operators in C++. This is the main thing which we are going to study today: operators in C++. Alright, so now let's study operators in C++. There are different types of operators: arithmetic operator, as well as we have the logical operator, we have the relational operators, we have the bitwise operator, and we have unary operators. So there are various kinds, etc, etc. There are various kinds of operators. Now let's first talk about the arithmetic operators. Alright, so they are the things which you already know. Alright, it's simple: plus, minus, divide, multiply, and modulo division. Okay, modulo division. So yeah, that's it. Now if I write int x equals 5, alright, if I write int x equals let's write 5 only, and let's say I have y equals 6. There's also an integer type. Now what happens if I see out x plus y? My compiler will simply print 11 on the screen. That's it. Yeah guys, my compiler will print 11 on the screen because plus operator is already known in C++. That is, C++ knows what to do with the plus operator, with minus operator, with multiply operator, with the divide operator, as well as with the modulo division operator. Now let's jump to a very important topic and a confusing one for the students who are the beginners. This: what is the difference between modulo division and division? So if I have 10 divided by 5, answer is 2. If I have 10 divided modulo division 5, we'll get 0. Because this modulo division operator is actually giving me the remainder and not the question. Alright, now what do I want to say? Let me show you what do I want to say. Okay, so let's say I have 10 and I divide it by 5. Okay, Now I know 5 2s are 10, so I'll write 2 here. Okay, I write 2 here and subtract this, I'll get 0. So this remainder is the answer of modulo division and quotient is the answer of division. Now let's move on to another thing. Let's say I have int x is equals to 1. Okay, int x equals 1 and I have y equals 2. This is also integer type. So x by y will also be an integer. That's why it will be displayed 0 and not 0.5. Alright, we know that 1 divided by 2 is actually 0.5, but 0.5 is floating type. We have x and y both as integers, so the answer is also going to be integer. That's why our compiler simply ignores the decimal in part after that and it prints 0 as the answer. Alright, okay. Now let's move on to the another category, which is unary operators. Alright, unary operators. So till now we have studied plus, minus and multiply and modulo division and division. So all these are binary operators. What is actually a unary and binary operator? Let's see. X plus y. So we require x also and y also to operate this. So two operands are required for the plus operator. That's why it is binary operator. Okay. Now unary operators require only one operand. Alright, only one operand. Now what do I mean by that? Let's see. Okay guys, so here I am writing y equal to x plus plus doesn't mean that there are two operands. The operation is taking place only on x, you can see, and I am assigning that value to y. Okay, yeah. So x plus plus and x minus minus and plus plus x and minus minus x. So these are the four types of operators. Now let's study them in great detail. We have x equals 1, alright, and y equals x plus plus. So what does it mean? Firstly, let me tell you. It is a post increment operator. See, yeah, what does y equals to x means? See, this is not equals to. This is called as assignment operator in C++. What happens is that the value at the right gets assigned to the value at the left. Alright, it is called as assignment operator, not equals to. Okay, alright. Now, what if I write y equal to x plus plus and I write x equal to 2? So what will happen? Alright. So since it is the post decrement, therefore the assignment will take place first and the increment will take place afterwards. Alright. Post increment, the increment will take place later. First the value will be assigned. So what happens is that in y equal to x plus plus, firstly the value of x will be assigned to y. Okay. So the y becomes 2, obviously. Let me write it here where it will be visible to you. So y is equals to 2. Okay. Now plus plus, now the increment will take place. Increment by 1 always takes place. So x equals to 3 because x value was 2. So this is the post increment operator. Alright, that the increment will take place afterwards. Now we have the pre-increment operator. It means that first the value will be incremented. That is, the value of x will become 3 first. And now this entire value of x will be assigned to y, which means that y will also be 3. Alright, so this is the pre-increment operator. Okay, alright. Similarly, we have the post decrement as well as the pre-decrement operators. Okay, so yeah, we have this post decrement operators. Now what do you think, guys? What is going to happen? Is x, if I take x equal to 2, so what is going to happen? Will the value first be decreased and then it will be assigned to y? No, no, because this is pre-decrement. Alright, we are not going to do pre-decrement. Here we are talking about the post-decrement. Okay, so what actually is going to happen is the reverse of this thing, that y is equal to x minus minus. So what will happen is that the value of x will first be assigned to y because it is post. Okay, so y becomes 2. Alright, and now the value will be reduced, so x becomes 1. Okay, when x was 2. This is the case when x was taken to be 2. Alright, now y is equal to minus minus x. So firstly, since it is pre, so firstly x will become 1 and then it will be assigned to y. Hence y also becomes 1. Okay, so this was all about the 4 types of unary operators and I guess I made it clear. Okay, Now let's talk about the logical operators. See, I'm not going to explain them. We have the logical AND, we have the logical NOT, and we have the logical OR operator. Okay, and we use them in if else. Okay, if else are the statements in C++ and they are used there only. So when we'll explain the program of if else, then we'll explain these kinds of operators. Alright, when we'll explain if else, then we'll explain these logical operators to you. It is of no need right now. Okay, alright, now moving on further, we have the relational operators. Alright, we have relational operators. So it's less than, greater than, and greater than equal to, and less than equal to, and not equal to. Okay, so these are relational operators. Now let's understand them. It's very simple, like 1 is less than 2, 2 is greater than 1. Alright, and we have 1 is less than equal to 2. See, it is less than or equal. So 1 is not equal, but it is less than 2. So it satisfies one condition. Okay, and this is how we write 2 not equal to 1 in C++. Alright, so this is quite simple. There is no need for a depth explanation of that. Alright, you all know about these operators. Now there is something called as bitwise operators, which we are not going to study at all because it is of no use to us. See, it is of two types, something left shift and right shift. We call them bitwise left shift, right shift operators, but we are not going to use them anywhere in our programming language, so we are not going to study them. Alright, I'll link the Geeks for Geeks site again so that you can study about each and every operator, their associativity, etc. from the this site. Alright, that will be good. Okay, now let's talk about identifiers. What actually is an identifier? Let me tell you. It is a name which we are giving to something. Okay, which we are giving to something. Like we have any variable, int x equals something. So this x is given by me. Alright, I can write it a also. You can write it a. Alright, if you are writing it, it is possible you write it a. Alright, so main thing is user is assigning this name. So what is keyword in C++? Keywords are the words which are already defined in C++. They are predefined in the C++. For example, friend. Yeah, friend. It is a keyword in C++. What do I mean by this? What do I want to convey to you? I want to convey to you that int friend you cannot take. Why? Because you cannot name a variable which is already a fixed name in C++. So the variable names cannot be keywords. Alright, see, class is also a keyword, so you cannot write int class. Okay, you cannot name any variable as a keyword. Alright, so keywords are the words which you cannot use. Alright, keywords are the words you cannot use in variables. Alright, variables only can be anything except keywords. Alright, I'll link the Geeks for Geeks for this also. Okay, so you can check it out how many keywords are there. You don't need to remember all of them. So till now we have talked about operator, data types, and variables, constants, identifiers, keywords. So now let's make a program, and in the program we are going to implement the operators which we have studied. Alright, we are going to implement the operators we have studied. So let's go. Okay guys, so let's try to implement this program now on the operators. So I open my C++ IDE, which is the code blocks, and I save this file as sum of numbers.cpp. Okay, yeah, so let's start with the program. So it's hash include iostream using namespace standard and int main, the general C++ syntax, which I guess now you might have remembered it correctly. Alright, and more than remembering, you need to understand that why we are using all those things, and I told you in the hello world program video itself. And you have also studied about the data type in the previous video, so you now might have a basic idea of the C++ syntax, and practicing will make you more perfect with the syntax. Okay, so now we enter the first number. Alright, we ask the user to enter the first number. Okay, and we see in, that is we console input the value of first number. Okay, since \n is for leaving the line. All right, previously we were using endl, and now we can also use \n. It is one and the same thing for now only. Okay, see, when you go to competitive programming, it is not the same thing. Endl actually takes more time than the implementation of \n. So we prefer avoiding the use of endl. Okay, why, I'll tell you in the further videos, but for now you can say that it is approximately the same thing. Okay, so now I have written this sum equals x plus y. All right, so my compiler will know that I have to have the value of y, then I have to add the value of x to it, and then this value is to be what do you say, associated with this sum variable. All right, this value is to be stored in this sum variable. So the sum of x and y is sum. Okay, x and y are placeholders, so you know that the x, in the place of x the value of x will be printed, and in the place of y the value of y will be printed. So yeah, that's it. So let's do it. Let's compile and run this program. Okay, yeah, so we have enter the first number, I enter 5, and in the second number I enter 67. Sum is 72. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess I wrote y in double quotes only. Yeah, so I have to write it outside this double quotes. Okay, yeah, so this is what it is. Now I guess we are good to go. X and y both will be the placeholders now. So now if I compile and run this, yeah, so it's asking me to enter the first number. I enter 34 here, and the second number I enter 56. The sum of 34 and 56 is 90. So yeah, I told you we were good to go. Now let's go to the next program, which is the simple and compound interest. Okay, and I'm saving it by the name of simple and compound interest, guys. Now here we'll be using something different. Okay, the sum of numbers was quite a simple program. Even this is simple. It's just a new thing you will need to learn, that we also be using the header file called math.h here. So yeah, you will be learning about what that header file is all about. I'm sorry guys, I forgot to include the header file. So let me just declare the variables simple interest, compound interest, principal rate and time. So yeah, now I go and I'll include this header file #include math.h. Now why are we including this file? So you must know the basic mathematics, the simple and compound interest formula. So in the compound interest formula we have principal times 1 plus r by 100 to the power t. Alright, so we have the power function. So this power function is an inbuilt function in C++ which comes under math.h header file. That's why we will have to include this math.h header file. Okay, oh, we are good to go. Now we are just typing out the things, principal rate and time. Okay, and we'll see in the things. All right, now I told you about the backslash already. Okay, so now see in principal rate and time. Now we write the formulas. Simple interest will be equal to you all know the formula of simple interest. It is principal times rate times time divided by 100. So yeah, principal into rate into time, whole thing divided by 100. Alright, whole thing divided by 100. And now compound interest will be principal into power of 1 plus r by 100 comma t, which means that t will go to the power of this 1 plus r by 100. Okay, t will go to the power of this 1 plus r by 100. The syntax means this. Okay, all right, now let's print the answers. Let's print the simple and compound interest. Guys, this is equal to operator. I guess in the screen it is showing minus operator. I don't know why we are typing out the equal to operator. There is some print display error, I guess, so please adjust with that. Yeah, so let's build and run this code. So if I enter 101, all right, that's it, principal is 1 and this is 100, rate and time is 1, so I get 1 and 2 as the answer, which is mathematically correct. You can tally it. All right, so till now we learned about identifiers, data types, and keywords and operators also. All right, so I guess we are good to go with all those things, and we learned how to include any extra header file in this program also. So guys, if you are liking this course, then like, share and subscribe, because the next video is going to be on the implementation of unary operators. Till then, bye.